Well, I don't know how it happened, but I've ended up directing a lot of autobiographical one-person pieces, and I actually sort of wrote my own as well, and did one when I was about 28. And I guess I'm just fascinated with how people get beyond the obstacles in their life and the opportunities that are given them right from the get-go, and the pivotal moments in a person's life. So a lot of people in theater, and I totally understand it, are not as excited about an autobiographical one-person play. It's like, well, is that theater? Are you really embodying somebody else? Are you really taking on the character of somebody else? And or is it just a telling of a story of your life? But I think there's something quite beautiful and moving about a person being willing to share their life on stage in a heightened way, that sort of says, in some manner or another, I did this, so can you, or I followed my passion here, you follow yours, or I don't know, these universal moments that we all share. But I forget the question now. Yeah, I trained as an actress. I mean, I grew up in theater. My dad was an opera director, so I would always go to the theater when I was 5 or 6, and then started being in operas as a kid, and then trained as an actress, got my MFA in acting. But it was kind of strange because the minute that I sort of walked out of the doors of SMU after getting my graduate degree, I started directing. My first summer job was as an assistant director at Interlochen Arts Camp. So maybe the reason why I moved away from acting ultimately was that I have such a desire to do the new, and I get bored easily. And so the idea of anything that I would have to do in a repeated fashion, isn't that terrible? The director gets to leave opening night. I don't know if that's it. Maybe that's it. But yeah, so new works and classical works, really, and almost nothing in between. And one-person shows. And one of my favorite experiences was actually with my dearest friend Elizabeth, writing and creating a one-person show for her to be in about the painter Paula Modersohn Becker. But the whole creative process, the whole creative process of sort of going every day to work and write on it for 3 weeks, and and then directing that piece. And
how did that one start?
Well, that one started in a totally beautiful way, where we're driving cross country, and Elizabeth said, I'm so tired of not having work as an actress. And Elizabeth's an amazing, amazing, amazing actress. And so I said, let's write you something. And she said, okay. And then we got to Denver, and we said, let's go to this bookstore, the Tattered Cover, and let's all split up, because her boyfriend was there as well. Let's all split up and see if we can come up with any historical characters or anybody that seems interesting to do a one-person show about. And we all split up, and we came back in 45 minutes, and she had a bunch of books that were very interesting, and then I hadn't found anything except one book at the very end that I recognized that had been on my mother's bookshelf when I was a kid, but it was wrapped in plastic, but it was about a painter. And then so I was like, I grabbed that. And then Benjamin, her boyfriend, said, I just came up with one name. I was on the computer downstairs, and of course it was Paula Modersohn Becker, and my book was Paula Modersohn Becker.
No way.
And so we all looked at each other and said, oh my God. And then we bought the book, went to the coffee shop, cracked it open, and read the first journal entry, and everybody wept. I mean, she's a beautiful writer. So, I love synchronicity like that. We did it a bunch of times. We did it in Boulder, we produced it ourselves. Then we did a tour of it in Michigan, and was it mostly Michigan? I think it was all through Michigan. We did 4 different performances at colleges, and then the theater where we originally performed it brought us back as part of their season to do it again.
What theater?
Nomad Theater in Boulder.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah. I guess it's just this one-on-one. I love that feeling of that intimacy of working in a one-person show format, because it's just, beautiful.